and then like whatever they recommend, like you know, like you watch something and then there's like the recommended similar titles, and I'll watch those too. And so I remember getting into it, and I was actually watching it with my my girlfriend's mom. She was watching it with me. We you know how it started. She watched. Have you ever watched For the Bible Tells Me So?
Mm-mm.
No, it's a really interesting movie. It's about these parents. No, it's not about these parents. They're the center of it, but it's essentially it's a true story. The interview it's kind of a documentary, but also a story. Many stories, the intersection of many stories, probing the issue of religion being against homosexuality, and really getting deeply into it. And so like it's a very interesting movie, and like it really takes it like they interview priests and pastors, and they actually find the passage in the Bible that people always point to, and like they break it down and they show like how much propaganda, like how the Bible actually doesn't even call it a sin, and like all this stuff. And the movie's very moving. But I was watching that with Mel's mom, and then them like I guess they suggested similar movies. So I guess it was in the vein of sexuality, and and then we like got on a kick, and I think we watched like 5 movies in that topic. And one of them, anyways, you could see the side effects of the hormones. And it was like a lot of like let's see, what did I learn? Okay. Voice going deeper. Hair
I can definitely
growth.
say that the estrogen doesn't affect voice.
Really? Well, you would never know. Hair went hair a
Definitely
lot of
changes
hair.
hair texture.
Oh, really?
Hair texture, it softens features for
Really?
females. It reduces like hair in certain areas. It never just goes away. You still kind of have to manage stuff or get it, lasered or electrolysis. But like a lot of my leg hairs are blonde. They were like jet black before.
Really? Interesting. That's interesting. Weird how that changes. Isn't that weird how that changes? Something like that could change something like that. It
I
seems
know, it's
strange.
crazy.
It's very strange.
And I can say, I don't know if it's the same for the other way, but I can definitely say for like people who are transitioning like me, like after you get things removed,
Right?
you don't have to stay on the pills, or shots, whatever the person's preference is. But a lot of us do it because it just helps us retain that, feminine feel. Because everybody does produce estrogen and testosterone, and
Right.
I'm still producing it, just at a very minuscule rate.
I understand. Oh, because and that's why sometimes like older men like will get their testosterone checked to see how much they're producing. They're producing sometimes almost little to none. And right, so people do produce both. That's right. And I think like yeah, they've done tests like to prove like some athletes that are female that have been very successful have like they've done tests and found they have more testosterone relative to the average female and stuff. So we must produce both.
Yep,
Interesting. I never thought.
makes
I don't
sense.
know anything about this. Science is my worst thing. Like I know nothing. I honestly have so much to learn
I always
about.
did well in science in school, but I don't.
Health and science is like my least informed area of life. I feel like, but I'm willing to learn. And then let's see, what else did I learn? What was the most interesting thing I saw? There was like a lot more, I feel like, cosmetic surgery that had to happen too, also.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, from what I understand, much easier to transition M to F than F to M.
Right. Yes, because there was that. And that was like a really big like
And I believe
deal.
they're kind of they're very limited to how far they can take it, like how, as far as like size and stuff like that.
Right. Totally. Very interesting. Yeah. Anyways, so when these things are off, we could talk. But I appreciate your openness. Anyways, it's like I said, you're gonna be in a position to really inform people
I
in a
know.
positive way. Don't worry, it's
I
gonna
know.
be in
I
a
hope
positive way.
I am doing it positively. I hope that people will like separate what happened, you know, and who I am, you know,
Totally. And of course,
because I wanted to come on here and like appear strong. I didn't want to, but it's hard to control your emotions in these kind of situations. I didn't want to be in my bed for 2 days crying like a baby.
so I've been in my bed not crying from a baby, like a baby. Like people, it's just also exhausting, this whole thing. Totally. You didn't look like a baby. It was the best thing to do, to be honest. There was no right way to handle it. There is no right way to handle it. It's extremely, the whole thing, so awkward. All of it. So, like, what are you going to do? You're writing the script. And you wrote it, and you did fine. You're here. Right?
Yep, but I can still hear that crocodile
The crocodile? What's the crocodile?
from Peter Pan. You don't remember the crocodile from Peter
No.
Pan?
No.
Always makes like the ticking noise.
I feel like I've seen Peter Pan so many times, too. It's been a minute. I'm getting old. So that means he's coming kind of thing? Yeah. I like that. I remember Jaws. The, so yeah. Very interesting. Do you think that we have like an America's player here in this season?
The only reason I feel like we do is because like who the hell puts socks in the sink?
Someone put socks in the sink? Mm-hmm. I didn't see that.
Yeah, apparently somebody put socks in the sink.
What?
Yeah.
When?
And so if I had to guess one person, I would think because he walks around the most and he's up the most.
Why would you put socks in the
I
sink?
don't know. That's why I think that's the only reason I can justify like why someone would do that.
That's funny.
But I don't notice anything else weird that's happened.
Right. Well, America, pick me. I wish I could be an America's player. Make $5,000. That'd be awesome.
I know.
Yeah, that would make the whole thing feel a little better, at least. You know?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be particularly that height, but that kind of, I like that kind of a build. I like that kind of short hair, clean look, bone structure.
Very nice.
He's a good looking dude.
Oh, yeah. So basically, guys, out of my league.
Don't say things like that. Don't put that out there. You know better.
But I like really unique personality types. People whose humor and personality that is just very adaptable to other people's personality types.
What about like an Austin type personality?
Yeah.
That was actually what I was thinking. When you said that. Yeah.
Just like an Austin personality.
I get it.
So spiritual, likes to learn.
Right. That makes sense. I could totally see that. That would be a very good match for you. I get it.
Yeah, Austin type, but
Not physically.
Yeah.
More like personality. I get it completely. The
Not that big either.
right. What
I
if
don't
they
even
were
care if he has like a beer belly, honestly. I don't want a beer belly, but I'm just saying, I'm open-minded.
Right.
We all slip up,
Right.
especially me,
right.
as I like,
when
grab
they
my fat
say
on my
there's
legs.
alcohol?
Oh my god. And so, and have you, like, what's like the longest relationship you've ever had?
None.
Come on. Really? None?
Yeah, none. I mean, I've like met people in passing. That sounds like one night stands. I've met guys and like we've been connected for like months at a time, but it's always been a distance thing, or I've had like an issue letting people get too close because I'm always worried about like affecting them and their lives, and like if this came out, like what are your friends gonna think? What are your family gonna think? But they've always been on the same page, and I've gotten reassurance, but it's been an insecurity with myself. Always feeling like, oh, I'm gonna somehow, I don't know, hurt this person. And I don't like feeling like that.
But so, and you usually like tell them straight up, like right in the beginning?
Yeah.
So you're like me, you have to like I told, like when I said the thing about having to meet people online, that's like so much easier, right?
Exactly.
Like, isn't it? You understand.
Exactly.
Right? It's like,
And it's interesting too, because you do find out like there are more guys that are open too.
right.
And I've been very lucky as far as like the guys that I have met, because they all have had that mindset exactly like what I want. And they think of it as, well, I met you today and this is who you are now. So whatever happened a year ago or who you were a year ago or this or that, like, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It doesn't mean that they're gay or like there's any like specific label on it.
Right.
Because
Yeah, you definitely need someone who's like who's evolved and yeah, love is love kind of person. And they're out there. I've met a lot of them.
yeah. So I like my first couple people that I get connected with, it was like hard for me to let go because I think like, how am I going to find these type of people again? You know, how am I going to find this type of person who's just willing to accept me? And, you know, that was hard. And it was really me being hard on myself. And over the past, like, I wouldn't be able to do this if I didn't have more love for myself, you know, because I wouldn't let myself do it.
Right.
And I almost didn't. Like, I really was, like, I always, like, second-guessed it because, like, it's out there. What are people going to think? You know, like, everyone's going to see me. Cause
Did
I've
you
always
think
been
about
so
coming on the
private.
show and not saying?
I did. It was discussed. I mean, there's kind of, like, a story behind it, but I can't talk about it.
Right.
But, yeah, I wasn't always going to, like, be open
The whole
about
time.
it. Yeah.
No, but like in other words,
But I wanted to be because I didn't want to like, obviously this game's already like manipulative enough and I didn't want to.
that, and nobody would have known at all. But it's admirable that you did.
Yeah. And that's how I feel. Like, I don't believe it's something I should have to justify and introduce myself as, but we're on this platform. It's just a different circumstance. And I don't want to also encourage other people to being afraid of, you know, expressing themselves or, you know, coming out to others. And I think one of the good things about this experience is that it was so, like, everyone just embraced it instantly. And I didn't feel judged. Like, everybody was just, like, cool. And I actually genuinely believe, like, people have forgotten about it.
Like, really?
So, like, the people who hate my guts genuinely just hate my guts. It's not, it's not more personal than that.
That's really funny. That's really funny. And so true, right? That's so true.
So at least they don't hate me for that reason.
That's really funny. Oh, that's really funny. Totally. They genuinely just hate my guts.
Yeah.
Right.
They hate me. Not that I'm, you know.
And somehow that you're happy about that, which is funny.
I mean,
that's where the irony is in there. But it's funny. It was so funny. Who would have thought of someone saying that? But that's actually super funny. Yeah, totally. People did embrace it. We have a great cast.
Yeah.
Like really open-minded people.